Hello and welcome. You're with the news today. This is your primetime destination. Newsmakers, talking points. And Friday night, the big talking point is coming from Parliament, where Trinamool MP Mahua Moitra has been expelled after an ethics committee report ruled against her. But did she get a fair hearing, or was this a fixed match? That's what we're going to raise tonight, the Mahua Moitra question. But first, as always, it's time for the 9 headlines at 9. The Trinamool Congress's Mahua Moitra expelled as Lok Sabha MP. She cries foul, claims the ethics panel acted without proof, cites no evidence of any cash trail with businessman Darshan Hiranandani. Trinamool Congress Supremo Mamata Banerjee backs Mahua, condemns her expulsion, calls it her victim of BJP's vindictive politics. BJP hits back, claims right procedures were followed to expel Mahua. 100 crore rupees and counting cash all seized in IT raids against Jharkhand Congress MP Dheeraj Sahu. Prime Minister slams Congress, claims every penny looted will be returned. Consensus on BJP's chief ministers for 3 heartland states. Likely on Sunday, Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister contender Shivraj Chauhan makes a big claim. Claims no post bigger than being mama and brother of his people. Angry protests erupt in North Chennai as it reels under the aftermath of cyclone Migjom. Oil spill triggers health concerns. No respite as heavy rainfall predicted for the weekend. BJP Shiv Sena NCP Mahayuti alliance split wide open over the inclusion of Nawab Malik into the alliance. Now Maha Vikas Aghadi questions the ruling government's flip-flop on Malik. Savarkar Rao reignites in Karnataka after Congress Minister Priyank Kharge claims Savarkar portrait should be removed from the Vidhan Sauda. BJP lashes out, threatens wide protests. Zoram People's Movement Chief Lal Duoma, sworn in as the new Chief Minister of Mizoram, says top priority as Chief Minister will be given to farmers and anti-corruption measures. And Israeli rockets continue to rain down on Gaza. US President Joe Biden speaks to Netanyahu, says Gaza civilians must be protected. But our top story comes tonight from Parliament, where Mahua Moitra, the firebrand Trinamool Congress MP, was expelled today from the Lok Sabha. The Lok Sabha, by a voice vote, passed a resolution to expel her. The voting took place after a short discussion on the Ethics Committee report that was tabled today. That report called for Mahua's expulsion for sharing her password with an unauthorized person and calling for an inquiry into allegations of questions for favors. The whole process took 1 hour and 8 minutes. The opposition says this was a fixed match by the government, which has been gunning for Mahua. The government says it has stood by all parliamentary procedures. Where does the truth lie? Take a look.
Direct involvement in cash or query in Parliament with reference to the examination and investigation of the alleged unethical conduct of Srimati Mahua Moitra.
Chaos unfolded in Parliament. At the centre of it all, the Trinamool leader, Mahua Moitra herself.
दिनांक 8 दिसंबर 2023 को सभा पटल पर रखे गए आचार संहिता की प्रति रिपोर्ट में निहित सिफारिशों से सहमत है। जो सदस्य इसके प्रस्ताव के पक्ष में हाँ गए, जो विरोध में ना गए, मेरे विचार में निर्णय हाँ वालों के पक्ष में हाँ वालों के पक्ष में हुआ, प्रस्ताव स्वीकृत हुआ।
The outspoken ex-Lok Sabha member grappling with a cash for query allegations expelled from the Lok Sabha after the motion was put to vote.
Following that this House do agree with the recommendation contained.
The decision followed the Lok Sabha Ethics Committee presenting and tabling its report in the House,
Dated 15th October 20.
recommending her expulsion from the Lok Sabha over accusations of accepting bribes from businessman Darshan Hiranandani in exchange for submitting pre-approved questions in the House. The Congress stood firmly behind Moitra in the House, requesting time to review the report and an opportunity for the accused MP to present her defense in the Lok Sabha.
जो अखबारों में पढ़ा उससे बहुत साफ तौर पर यह चीज निकल के आई कि जिनको अभियुक्त बनाया गया, जिनके ऊपर लांछन लगाए गए, उनको अपनी बात पूरी तरह रखने का मौका भी नहीं दिया गया। ये किस तरह का प्रोसीजर है?
The speaker dismissed requests from both the Congress and Mahua's own party, the Trinamool, to allow her to present her case in the House. Citing a precedent from a 2005 incident when several MPs were expelled from the House over cash for query allegations in a similar manner.
खुद माननीय सांसद महोदया ने
The BJP supported the Ethics Committee's recommendations, asserting that proper procedures were followed in its proceedings.
एथिक्स कमेटी के सामने माननीय सांसद महोदया को पूरा मौका मिला, उनकी बात रखने का मौका मिला और मिस्टर हीरा नंदानी जो इस कंपनी के प्रमुख हैं और जिनके पास से गिफ्ट्स और पैसे लेने के जो आरोप यहाँ पे थे, उसमें मिस्टर हीरा नंदानी ने खुद एफिडेविट कर एथिक्स कमेटी को दिया है और वो जो एफिडेविट उन्होंने किया है वो इंडियन एम्बेसी के डेप्यूटी काउंसलेट जनरल जो दुबई में है उनके सामने शपथ लेकर उन्होंने ये एफिडेविट किया हुआ है। सर, ये पक्ष या विपक्ष का सवाल नहीं है, ये संसद की मर्यादा का सवाल है।
With Congress leader Sonia Gandhi and other allies standing in solidarity firmly behind the expelled Trinamool MP.
Justice has been denied to Mahua Moitra.
The expelled MP from West Bengal denounced the decision as a kangaroo court judgment. She insists that the Ethics Committee had no evidence of bribes exchanged as alleged in the original complaint.
It refused to summon the businessmen to orally testify, and there is no evidence of any cash, of any gifts anywhere. The recommendation of expulsion is based solely on the ground that I have shared my Lok Sabha portal login.
Mahua Moitra also refuted accusations of sharing login credentials.
All of us MPs are conveyor belts to get questions from the public, from citizens, and to voice that in Parliament.
A new rallying point for the India alliance as they walk united once again. After appearing disjointed earlier this week following the Congress's drubbing in the Hindi heartland, could this be a new signal moment for opposition unity? With Polami Saha in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
Most important person, Hiranandani.
My first guest, therefore, is PDT Achari, former Lok Sabha Secretary General, expert on parliamentary procedures. Appreciate your joining us, Dr. Achari. In your view, given the information available to you and in the public domain, do you believe Mahua Moitra got a fair hearing, or do you believe this has been a bit of a fast-track hearing where she wasn't given a fair chance to present her case? It was a bit of a fixed match.
Well, from the media reports, it appears that it was a kind of fast-track thing, and perhaps he made a complaint that she did not get any proper or fair opportunity to present a case, and she was also not allowed to cross-examine the other witnesses. And this is the practice in the House of Commons and in other parliaments.
Now, are you saying to me, Mr. PDT Achari, that Mahua Moitra should have been given a chance to cross-examine the people who made the accusations against her, specifically Darshan Hiranandani, the businessman who went on affidavit claiming that he had given her gifts?
Yes, certainly. Certainly. I have taken that position earlier also, and I have written about it. She should have been given an opportunity to cross-examine those people. After all, the purpose of this exercise is to find the truth. And you can get at the truth only through these processes.
Are you telling me that it is within the rules of the Ethics Committee that someone who is being accused has the right to cross-examine witnesses? Are you saying that is within the rules?
No, that is not specifically written there, but this is an accepted practice, Now, we are following the House of Commons practice, and there it is very clearly laid down that people who are accused of some misdemeanor or misconduct, they have the right to cross-examine the other witnesses.
Is the Ethics Commission, though, in your view, Dr. Achari, in a position to come to the truth in a case like this? Can it really investigate the nature of these charges, or should this all have been left to an investigation agency to first tell us what happened, and then the ethics panel should have taken a position?
The ethics committee goes into the unethical conduct. In fact, it has not been defined what exactly constitutes the unethical conduct. But the main charge was that she has received money for asking questions. And that is a serious breach of privilege, and that should have been investigated by the Privileges Committee, not by Ethics Committee. Because this issue doesn't come before the Ethics Committee. And therefore, Ethics Committee, in my view, lacks the jurisdiction to suggest a punishment of this nature, that is expulsion from the House.
You're making a very important point. You're saying the Ethics Committee lacks the jurisdiction in a case like this. This should have gone to the Privileges Committee. But when alleged financial misdemeanors are involved, should it have in the first instance been investigated by the CBI, some other agency, not by a parliamentary committee which goes simply by majority? Majority are with the government. They say that Mahua Moitra is guilty.
Well, that is another aspect. Now, if there is a kind of passing of money, if, for example, if she has received money from that person for asking questions, then of course it is a case of corruption under the Prevention of Corruption Act, and that needs to be investigated by the CBI. And perhaps that is being investigated by the CBI according to the paper reports.
Yes, but even before the case is investigated by the CBI or a report comes out, she's already been expelled. The other charge, Dr. Achari, is the manner in which Mahua Moitra shared her parliament website password, which allowed someone else to effectively post questions from her account. Is that, in your view, an indiscretion, a crime worthy of expulsion from the Lok Sabha?
Well, my view doesn't matter here, but I would like to make it clear that as of today, there is nothing in the rule which prohibits such a thing. There is nothing in the rule. So in the absence of any rule, I do not know how you can proceed against a person on that basis.
In that sense, then, is there a worry now that you have a dangerous precedent? Dr. Achari has been said, a private citizen who may have an animus against an MP makes a complaint, and the next thing you know, the ethics committee, depending on which party has a majority, decides one way or the other. Are you worried the ethics committee is getting completely politicized, and this was in a way a political hit job?
Well, I am worried about one thing, that the whole process or procedure that is to be followed by the investigative committee needs to be streamlined, so that the committee in an impartial way, objective way, finds the truth and then makes a suggestion or makes a recommendation for the punishment accordingly. I mean, according to the seriousness of the offense. I am worried about that. It needs to be. I have already written about it. The procedure needs to be streamlined. It should be fair and transparent and credible.
Net, from what you are telling me, Dr. Achari, you believe Mahua Moitra deserved a fairer chance than what she was given before she was expelled. You're raising a serious question on the way the process took place. Am I correct?
Well, the procedure has to be fair and credible. You know, that is what is required of an investigatory committee of Parliament. That is my view.
Okay. A member of Parliament has been expelled. Was she given a fair hearing? Dr. Achari is raising a serious question mark over the way this process has taken place. Now remember, he's a former Secretary General of Lok Sabha, doesn't belong to any political party. I appreciate, Dr. Achari, you joining me here on the news today. Let's raise that question. Did Mahua Moitra get a fair hearing or not? Has the BJP done a hit job on Mahua Moitra and fixed her? Is Mahua Moitra guilty of indiscretion or guilty of corruption? Were parliamentary procedures simply bypassed? Joining me now is Jayanto Ghoshal, senior journalist. He tracks the Trinamool Congress very closely. Sushmita Dev, national spokesperson, former MP of the Trinamool Congress. Sanju Verma, the BJP's national spokesperson, is with us. Okay, let's go straight first to you, Sushmita Dev, because Mamata Banerjee, Trinamool Congress, opposition leaders including Sonia Gandhi all standing by Mahua Moitra. The Speaker of the Lok Sabha is saying that all procedures have been followed, that we have gone by procedures, we have gone by an ethics committee report, therefore Mahua Moitra must face the procedures as they were laid out. Your response?
I think what is crystal clear from what has transpired over this case is what Mahua Moitra has repeatedly said, that she did not get a fair hearing before the ethics committee, number one. Number two, what is the very, very big question is they have prosecuted her over the affidavits of two private persons, one of whom, who is himself claiming to give her gifts and post her questions, has not been called before the ethics committee, who, if you like, in a normal case would be a primary witness, which means that affidavit legally is nothing but a statement of a person, and the law, any lawyer will tell you, the principles of natural justice say that if someone makes a statement against me in any forum, I have the right to cross-question that person. So the first question is, why wasn't Mr. Hiranandani called before the ethics committee? And who are the two people who are called? One is someone who has a bitter relationship with her, which is Jay, the lawyer, and the other is Nishikant Dubey ji, who has been taken to the cleaners by Mahua Moitra ji for filing a false affidavit before the Election Commission of India about his educational qualifications. Can I give any more instances or any more indications of why we need to believe that this entire process was vitiated, unfair and biased?
No,
and
so your
top it
principle,
all,
no, 1 minute. Mr. Darshan Hiranandani, the businessman, on a sworn affidavit said that he had given certain gifts to Mahua Moitra. He did not mention cash, but mentioned gifts. You're telling me he should have been brought before the ethics panel and cross-questioned?
Definitely, Rajdeep. Let me tell you, if you watch a criminal case very carefully, what is the reason an accused never gives a statement? So that they can't be cross-examined. So in this case, if you decide to give a statement or an affidavit, the person who you're accusing in the affidavit has every right to question that person. And he was the only person who was not called before the ethics committee. What is the justification for that? First, they said he's a foreigner. Then when it turns out that he is an Indian citizen, he has an Indian passport, then the narrative changes again. What is these are obvious questions that the people of India must ask themselves. I mean, I can't question the speaker. The speaker is above everyone. But I'm sorry, these are massive lacunas which make it extremely crystal clear that Mahua Moitra made Mr. Modi very uncomfortable with her questions in Parliament, and the entire thing is vitiated. The genesis of this problem is someone who is bitter towards Mahua, and the other honourable member of Parliament who has been caught lying on affidavit in front of the Election Commission of India.
Okay,
and I think
you made your point, you made it strongly. Sanju Verma deserves a response. Sanju Verma, the basic point being made by Sushmita Dev is a point that I have been speaking to lawyers, all of them are making. Cross-examination. Someone, a private citizen, I want you to hear me very carefully. A private citizen, in one case supposedly having an animus against her, an estranged partner, and a businessman based in Dubai, have made statements against Mahua Moitra. You do not call the businessman for cross-examination. Tomorrow, anyone will make any accusations against a particular individual and we will expel the individual without that person being cross-examined. Do you believe natural justice, ma'am, has been followed? I want a sharp, straight answer, ma'am, to this.
Rajdeep, I will give you a sharp and straight answer because I believe in calling a spade a spade. And I did not heckle any panelist. I hope that the same courtesy will be extended to me. Point number one. Whether Mahua Moitra was given a fair hearing or not, because she claims that the principles of natural justice have been violated, and that is what the entire cabal from the other side has been saying. So very quickly, in just 20 seconds, I will nail the lies of the other side. Due process was followed, and I'll tell you why. Your audience needs to know this. October 14th, 2023, Jay Anand Dehadrai writes to the CBI talking about the corruption by Mahua Moitra and the fact that she's used her public position for private gains. He also writes to Nishikant Dubey. October 15th, Nishikant Dubey writes to the Speaker Om Birla. October 16th, Nishikant Dubey writes to Union IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnav and MOS Rajiv Chandrasekhar. October 19th, 2023, Darshan Hiranandani submits a draft document, for want of a better phrase, to the Ethics Committee in detail, completely laying bare and exposing the quid pro quo that Mahua Moitra engaged in, post which Mahua Moitra publicly said, a plain sheet of paper with something scribbled by Darshan Hiranandani amounts to nothing. If he has the guts and the gumption, let him give a sworn affidavit. And lo and behold, on October 24th, Darshan Hiranandani makes public the sworn affidavit where he nails every single lie by Mahua Moitra. In between, on the 21st of October 2023, Nishikant Dubey has also written to the Ethics Committee to conduct a thorough probe. Now, on the 2nd of November, the Ethics Committee meets. It was earlier supposed to meet on 31st October, but because Mahua Moitra said she's not available, the courtesy was extended. On the 2nd of November, Mahua Moitra was given a proper, thorough hearing. And the Ethics Committee then on the 9th of November decided to take up the consideration and adoption of the proceedings against Mahua Moitra. It submitted its report to the Lok Sabha Speaker, and today, on the 8th of December, the Lok Sabha Speaker, while the powers bestowed on him under Article 93, 94, 95 and 96 of the Constitution, decided that enough is enough. Mahua Moitra was given ample opportunities to defend herself. She failed to do so.
Sanjuji, I have given you a lot of leeway to give the chronology, but you are not answering my... Ma'am, just a minute. I want a simple, direct answer. If someone makes an accusation against me, even on a sworn affidavit, do I not, when the issue involves expulsion from Parliament, do I not have the right to cross-examine that individual? Please tell me. Someone makes an accusation against me on a sworn affidavit where very clearly he does not mention cash. People need to know. He did not mention that he gave any cash to Mahua Moitra. Are you telling me that she does not have the right to cross-examine him? Are you telling me that she does not have the right to cross-examine him? Yes or no?
Rajdeep Sardesai, first and foremost, stop putting a gun to my head. You asked me a question, now show me patience to listen to my answer. And by the way, Rajdeep, on a lighter note, this is what I own. Let your audience see this.
What is it?
This is my branded handbag. And yes, I own another one. This is my branded handbag as well. Another one. And I'll tell you why I'm showing these handbags to you. I'm not making light of the argument. I'm appalled. Mahua Moitra and her supporters have been saying, oh, Mahua Moitra, you know, she owns Gucci shoes and a Louis Vuitton handbag. Arey bhai sahab, Mahua Moitra was a middle manager, a vice president is a middle manager position. I was an associate director, which was a senior management position at JP Morgan. So humko to mat sikhaiye bhai sahab.
No, but I asked you a question. Ma'am, you didn't answer my question. That did she have the right to cross-examine?
I will answer. Hold your horses, Rajdeep. You are supposed to be very patient, even with people whom you don't particularly like.
I like you.
That's your USP, Rajdeep.
I like you.
Thank you. I'm honored. I will say this to you. Do you remember, Rajdeep? The year was 2005. The date was December 12th. A sting operation was carried out by Cobra Post. And within 11 days, mind you, yahan to kafi waqt lag gaya, 1.5 mahina lag gaya. Within 11 days, on the 23rd of December 2005, 11 members of parliament, 11 MPs were expelled. 10 from the Lok Sabha, 1 from the Rajya Sabha. Out of those Lok Sabha MPs, out of 10, 6 were from the BJP. Do you know something? Nobody asked Cobra Post to authenticate that sting operation, that video. The people who were held guilty were not even shown the unedited version. No questions. Please hold on now. No questions were asked to the two journalists concerned, Aniruddha Bahel of Cobra Post and Suhasini Raj of Cobra Post. And then the matter went to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said that in some cases, Caesar's wife should be above suspicion, and wo 6 ke 6 BJP MPs unko suspend yadi kiya
Okay, you make a good point. You make a point which I think, ma'am, just a minute. There are two other guests. Sushmita, respond to what you've heard. The example being cited is in Cash for Questions, which was in 2005-06, where a sting operation resulted in 11 MPs being eventually expelled because they were seen on camera, and that's the distinction some would say with Mahua's case, because there they were seen on camera allegedly seeking cash for questions. How do you respond that Mahua Moitra, she had an opportunity to speak before the ethics committee? At the end of the day, the ethics committee has taken a particular decision, and therefore the procedure according to the speaker has been followed.
Anybody who says that there was video evidence and a sting operation in an earlier case admits the fact that there was conclusive evidence. In this case, it is one man's statement. It's his word against Mahua Moitra's word. That's why the cross-examination becomes important. If Hiranandani had filed photographs of him giving YSL and Kristen Dior stuff to Mahua Moitra and she accepting it, questions on the other hand, then maybe Hiranandani was not required. So I rest my case even further after giving this example. There was video evidence in this case. It is one man's statement, that too which changed after 3 days, Rajdeep. He first tweeted that I have nothing to do with this. And then after 3 days comes his affidavit, all the more reason. And Mahua herself is saying that the two affidavits of Jayati Hadri and Hiranandani have contradictions. These are the reasons.
May I come in?
But it's not, but Sushmita Dev, it's not that. They've also, you know, no, there are, 1 minute ma'am, there are two parts to it. One is the Darshan Hiranandani case. One is that she shared her password. And that, according to members of the ethics committee, was impropriety, was a breach of security, was therefore unethical practice. So the sharing of password is the second charge, which she doesn't deny.
Rajdeep, I need to come in for
Ma'am, just a minute. Let her be patient.
Do you know what is Mahua Moitra's great strength? That she bats with a straight bat. She never once in public tried to lie her way out of the situation. She said, Hiranandani is my friend. He got me a Bobby Brown perfume or a scarf or whatever. Second thing, she said, yes, I used his office to file my questions. Now, Rajdeep, I ask you a simple question. I've been hearing about national security. Please understand that this login and password is shared by several MPs. Today, if the ethics committee is free and fair and objective, if I may say so, if the chair is objective today, then it doesn't matter who you share your password
I need to come in now.
Whether it is a PRS lamp fellow or whether it is Hiranandi, both should be treated in an equal
No, you
manner.
can't. Ma'am Sushmita Dev, how can you treat a research fellow who's given a password with a businessman in Dubai? No, put the voice down of Sanju. How can you treat a research fellow given a password with a businessman based in Dubai?
Let me finish something. Let me finish what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, I'm not saying that there is no difference. What I'm saying is this is clearly a gray area. And why do I say that? Because recently, about a month back, the Lok Sabha Secretariat had to issue the rules. The gentleman you interviewed just before me, Mr. Achari, said it's a gray area.
No, it's a grey area, but there will be questions whether it amounts to indiscretion. Whether it amounts to corruption is another matter. But I want to play what I told I asked this question to Mahua Moitra when I had interviewed her a few weeks ago. Listen into what she said on this. There are two primary charges that have been made which has led to this recommendation for expulsion. Number one, unethical conduct and contempt of the House by Mahua Moitra for sharing her Lok Sabha login credentials to unauthorized persons and its impact on national security. Your login password being shared to Darshan Hiranandani's office, a Dubai-based businessman, is being seen as a violation of national security, according to the committee report.
I think you should read the verbatim. I'm going to actually make that public, given that the BJP has thrown Rule 275(2) to the winds and given everything to their own channels. I think I'm actually going to put the verbatim report of what's happened in the committee forward. Uttam Reddy, the Congress MP from Telangana, put it very mildly. He said it's just absurd. If it's a national security issue, that the sharing of a Lok Sabha portal, what is unauthorized persons? There were never any NIC rules given as to who is authorized and who is unauthorized. Till today there is no rule. For the past 3 weeks since this investigation, this kangaroo court has been going on, the NIC still has not put out any rules, and each MP's office still shares this login portal. It's not an email password, it's a login portal password with upwards of 10 people or more. At any given point in time, 3,000 people or more have the login password. So the unauthorization, there is no unauthorized, number one. Number two, if national security depended on the portal by which questions and travel reimbursements could be done, then I really think the NIC should have done a better job of protecting it. And for the last 3 weeks should have put out national level advisories saying that this is a breach of national security. It will call for action under the NIA. Every MP has to please come sign an affidavit saying they are the only ones using their password. I haven't seen them do any of that.
Mahua Moitra says national security, Sanju Verma, was a fig leaf. The real issue is that she was raising the question of alleged links between Prime Minister Modi and Gautam Adani. And that is why the BJP went for her. I want your response to that. She claims she was raising questions about alleged links between Prime Minister Modi and industrialist Gautam Adani. Therefore, this is a hit job.
Can you please now have the patience to listen to what I will say? Rajdeep, I have tremendous respect for you. But Mahua Moitra does not know the spelling of economy. She was a middle-level marketing and salesperson. She spoke rabid lies on your show. You did not counter her once. I will tell you why. Mahua Moitra says that the Modi government did not give the LNG import terminal contract to IOC and GAIL, but it gave it to Adani. So I want to just make one very factual correction and educate Mahua Moitra. The Dhamra port has been owned by the Adani since 2014, and the MOU to give Dhamra port to the Adani group was signed way back in 2013 when the BJP was not in power. And why did the two PSUs, IOC and GAIL say कि हम LNG import terminal नहीं build करेंगे Dhamra में, but let Gautam Adani build the same? Because Dhamra port is already owned by the Adanis. Why should IOC and GAIL have spent an additional 8,000 or 9,000 crores to set up an LNG import terminal? What they told Adani was, we will give you 40,000 crores spread over 30 years. But we will not make a sunken investment upfront of 10,000 crore. Point number one. Point number two, when you say that BJP has links with Adani, I want to ask one question to the TMC. In October 2022, and listen to this very carefully, no journalist is asking the TMC or Mahua Moitra question on this. In October 2022, Mamata Banerjee, TMC's tallest leader and CM of West Bengal, personally handed over LOI, letter of intent, for the Tajpur deep sea port to Karan Adani, the son of Gautam Adani. The contract size was 25,000 crore. It is only last month that Gautam Adani decided to not invest in the Tajpur deep sea port, citing red tape and bureaucratic delays. And Mamata Banerjee has also this year in May 2023 given Gautam Adani a 10,000 crore contract for the modernization of the Haldia port project with no tenders, no bidding. Point number three, and most importantly, I will finish after that. This Adani thing is a bogey. As they say, Julius Caesar, mein humne padha tha, Caesar's wife should be above suspicion. But Mahua Moitra, needs to address the elephant in the room. And the elephant in the room is the fact that the woman who's screeching and screaming about crony capitalism is actually the epitome of crony capitalism. I have branded bags, branded shoes. I was an associate director at JP Morgan drawing multi-million-dollar salaries. I have never told a businessman, please gift me a Bobbi Brown perfume, or please give me a MAC lipstick, or please finance the renovation of my house, or please send me on holidays to New York and London because I can afford to do so myself. But last but not the least, one point which you never asked Mahua Moitra, ask her this from my side. Mahua Moitra is not just a member of parliament. She is a member of the Parliament's Standing Committee on IT. She is a member of the Joint Committee on Personal Data Protection. She is a member of the Parliament's Consultative Committee on Health and Family Welfare. And each time anything regarding health, family welfare, personal data protection was discussed, Darshan Hiranandani had access to this. I asked Rajdeep Sardesai, assuming your competition is Times Now or CNN, will Rajdeep Sardesai share his password with the editor-in-chief of CNN? Will you share your login and password with the editor-in-chief of Times Now? Will you share your login and password?
Okay, you made a very. I have given you. I have been patient with you today to listen to what you said. Producer, let's go across to Jayanto Ghoshal. 1 minute. You made your points. People here have heard you. They've heard Sushmita. Jayanto is listening patiently. Jayanto, look at how it's changed. A month ago, 2 months ago, in fact, when this first broke out, Mamata Banerjee was silent. Today, she's come out strongly in defense of Mahua Moitra, saying this is vindictive action. Not just her. Sonia Gandhi standing by her, the entire opposition rallying behind her. What's changed? What has suddenly changed that the TMC now wants to stand by Mahua Moitra, where 2 months ago, they seemed to distance themselves or were silent?
No, there is a logic behind it. There is a genesis. And I can tell you, Rajdeep, वो chronology समझ लीजिए, because this first, when it happened, Mahua Moitra told Mamata Di that I will handle the case, and that time Mamata and Abhishek both discussed this issue, and they took a decision, because that time it was Nishikant Dubey versus Mahua Moitra. It was not BJP versus Trinamool. And BJP never did any press conference. And in West Bengal, BJP also didn't prioritize this issue in Bengal. They never raised the issue. So, Rajdeep, first Mahua started handling this issue, and that was the stand of the party. And till today, Mamata Banerjee is not anti-Adani. There is a popular misconception, because the industry minister Shashi Paja held press conference in Delhi few days back that the deal with Adani is on. So it is separate issue altogether.
No,
on
but why is she backing Mahua? Why is she backing Mahua Moitra now? What has changed? Why is she backing Mahua Moitra now?
Yeah, that's the issue is because what after the ethics committee's meeting, when Mahua boycotted, and Mahua said that her situation, the victim status, and like she raised the issue that like Draupadi, and she's a woman member of parliament, and gradually it has become a BJP's issue, and Congress started supporting Mahua, and Adhir Chaudhuri sent letter to Speaker, and you know this issue has become very important because you are not taking any view of Mahua, but you are going to CBI also. So now, and there is an internal survey also inside the party, Trinamool always they do. And after this BJP's proactive aggression, after post Nishikant's personal initiative, when it became more with BJP Delhi, a section of BJP
That's
also.
a lie.
Right.
And that time, the survey report says that Mahua has become more popular. And Mahua is
so you're saying that the survey says
as an urban middle class.
You're saying that Mahua has
And
become
now,
popular
after
among
today's
urban middle
incident,
class.
It has become more advantage Trinamool, and BJP lost the plot actually.
Okay, I'm going to leave.
And for BJP national level, when Ram Mandir issue is coming in 22nd,
one minute.
when there are several issues of corruption also, it's a side story.
Okay,
it is not a main story for
Please
BJP.
put the voice down. Okay, we've heard all sides.
This is, I think, it's not.
We've heard all sides. I've run out of time on this. But what is very clear is that Mahua Moitra is someone who has now become a rallying point for the opposition. How this plays out in Bengal and indeed among urban middle class audiences, We'll wait and see. But I appreciate my guest joining us. I just raised one point. Should there be the principle of natural justice or not? Should cross-examination have been allowed of Darshan Hiranandani or not? You, the viewer, must think about these questions. We must ensure due process at all times. Let's turn from there to my other big story, an income tax raid on businesses linked to Congress MP from Jharkhand. Dheeraj Sahu have seen a massive cash haul that is now going over 200 crore rupees and counting. The IT raids have sparked a political showdown in Jharkhand with claims of BJP misusing agencies once again resurfacing. Prime Minister Modi, though, says this cash is proof that corruption flourishes among opposition parties, especially the Congress. Take a look.
Almirahs full of cash, running into crores of rupees. This is what the income tax officials found in their raids on businesses linked to Congress's Rajya Sabha MP from Jharkhand, Dheeraj Sahu. The raids targeting Bodh Distilleries Private Limited and Baldio Sahu and group of companies started on Wednesday. Among the locations raided are offices, factories and houses linked to the MP's family and associates in Sambalpur, Bolangir, Titilagarh, Bodh, Sundargarh, Rourkela, Bhubaneswar in Odisha and Ranchi and Lohardaga in Jharkhand. The two raided companies are run by the MP and his relatives. The recovered money is kept at the SBI branches in Sambalpur and Bolangir, where the counting is still on. While 8 machines are being used to count the notes, more units may be brought in. The Income Tax Department is yet to give a formal statement, but sources say the cash haul exceeds 210 crore rupees. The IT will now trace the source of the money to see if it's accounted for or illegal. The raids have sparked a political showdown in Jharkhand.
जो व्यवसायी होंगे उनके पास पैसे नहीं होंगे, हाँ, उनके अडानी अंबानी के घर में अगर देखा जाए तो, हाँ, तो व्यवसाय जो करेंगे उसका उनका जो व्यवसाय है कच्चे का व्यवसाय है, ये नहीं जानते लोग, हाँ, उनके पास डेली नगद पैसे आते हैं करोड़ों रुपए में। ये सारी चीज़ों को भी देखना चाहिए। ये भारतीय जनता पार्टी के लोगों को राज्य के हित से, राज्य के विकास से, राज्य की जनता के सुख दुख से कोई लेना देना नहीं है। इन्हें सिर्फ और सिर्फ कीचड़ उछालना है।
इतने पैसे मिले कि मशीन खराब हो जाए, मशीन जवाब दे दे, तो ये पैसे कोई कांग्रेसी सांसद या कांग्रेसी विधायक के पास ही हो सकते हैं। मैं तो कहता हूं कि ये सीधे सीधे मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग का भी मामला है। इसमें इन्फोर्समेंट जो डायरेक्टरेट है उनको इंटरवेन करना चाहिए और गहन इसकी जांच करनी चाहिए और जो भी दोषी है कड़ी से कड़ी सजा मिलनी चाहिए।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi cited the cash haul to target the opposition and said all ill-gotten money will be accounted for. The Jharkhand BJP has demanded an ED probe against the Congress MP. Dheeraj Sahu and his relatives have a thriving liquor business in Odisha where they run distilleries. With Satyajit Kumar, Bureau Report, India Today.
So will the Congress party act against its own MP or engage in whataboutery? That's a question that I leave again, you the viewers, to think about. Let's take a break. When we return, we'll turn to Chennai, where angry protests have erupted in North Chennai, which continues to be waterlogged days after the aftermath of the cyclone. An oil spill now triggering health concerns. We'll be joined by one of Chennai's top officials. What next for the city? Back in a moment.
The true viewership king stands tall. Absolute domination on results day. viewership super smash.
The live concurrent data clearly shows India Today's lead is almost thrice. You could add up Times Now and Republic. Rajdeep, I think you can add all of them and they still won't come to India Today.
Since you have advertised this program as double engine, BJP ka double engine clear hai.
Decimates the competition. Viewers reward India's #1 channel. No fakery, no fixing, only facts. India's true #1 channel.
You're with the news today. Let's turn to what's been happening in Chennai, where large parts of the city continue to reel under the brutal aftermath of cyclone Migjom. Many areas of the city remained inundated by the incessant waterlogging. Even now, residents have been hitting the streets, claiming apathy by the state government authorities. Essential commodities in short supply still in some areas. Well, joining me now is Dr. J. Radhakrishnan. He is Additional Chief Secretary, Government of Tamil Nadu, also Commissioner, Greater Chennai Corporation. Appreciate your joining us, Dr. Radhakrishnan. 4 days now since the devastation caused by the cyclone. Some areas in Chennai still under flood waters 4 days later. What explains the fact that so many areas still remain waterlogged?
Yeah, I'd like to clarify that, it's a 426 square kilometer area and most of the areas have become normal and the areas which are inundated, we ourselves very frankly tell, now we have 57 locations which are inundated because they are, we have around 200 wards and 15 zones. We have specific locations. All the other places, if you come from the airport, Anna Salai or EVR Salai, all the 488 kilometer bus routes, all are functional. The problem is with regard to Pallikarnai, Velachery, where one particular lake breached. So that was one area, Madipakam and all. Plus, as you come down, you've got in the extended area, Valsarvakam. Then in the south, we have excess water discharge from Pundi, that area, Sadiyangapam. These all were the these are all the only remaining reasons and not many areas. You can.
So whether it is many of you, I still remember covering the 2015 flooding in Chennai. At that time, it was again places like Velachery, where one of the main problems was encroachment on land and water bodies. Chennai, sir, according to an IIT study, had 650 water bodies till 2 decades ago. Now only a fraction of them exist and it's only getting worse. It's land encroachments that are clogging the system, the drainage systems.
See, I'll tell you the other, I don't dispute the whatever study has been there. The problem of Chennai is slightly more peculiar. We have 31 micro canals. We have got around 14 major canals. We have Buckingham Canal and 3 rivers. But the problem of Chennai is not that. Problem is that it has only 4 discharge points. One in the north called as Ennore Creek. Then in the center, Adayar and Kuam. And in the last, we have got Kuam. This was a very peculiar kind of situation where for almost 36 hours, the cyclone was stationary 100 to 150 kilometers away. And these 4 confluence points were not taking water. Instead, those were higher. That's why this widespread, 35,000 odd streets, every street sort of had this inundation. But having said that,
why?
The moment...
But Dr. Radhakrishnan, at least accept the fact that maybe 40 years ago, even if you had such rain, you wouldn't have massive waterlogging in Chennai. It's the encroachments in recent years on water bodies that have made it so much more difficult to drain the water away, much like Mumbai. All these big cities where you have water bodies being encroached upon, like now in Chennai, are the ones that are seeing massive waterlogging every time there's heavy rain.
No. Again, I'm very, very clear that, this is slightly a different, I was there in 2015 floods also in a different capacity. This did not take water. That's why anybody can come, if you walk on, there are two phases. One area, you look as if nothing has happened, the water has drained out. But the areas where it is retained, it is, I myself told you, 57 locations, we have water stagnating. The 12,000 odd encroachments in Kuam we have removed. But this much beyond that. The water did not actually get discharged, the precipitation. So that led to a horizontal kind of the linear capacity of the canals were low. That was the reason of this.
So are you saying that this is not a man-made problem? It would be wrong to say that 2023 is a man-made problem?
See, all urban floods are a mixture of both natural and man-made issues. You have gated communities, various issues. But each one is a slightly different event. This time the 36-hour precipitation got compounded or exacerbated because the canals which ultimately discharged to the drain, the three rivers and one major Buckingham Canal, did not take water from the stormwater drains at all. And if the stormwater drains were so bad, you would not have had, after the rains getting stopped, in almost 24 to 48 hours, except these 57 odd locations. And the remaining places, it has almost dried up.
But could we say, Dr. Radhakrishnan, that the worst is over? Because the Met Department is now predicting more rains over the weekend. Could the situation get worse?
I personally feel this is slightly linked to the cyclone being stationary, and this not just during that time. Whenever there's a high tide or a full moon day, that gets solved within a day. The water goes. This time this does not happen, so everything may not be similar because we have been having rain from June 19th. We have handled it so far very well. Even the airport was up and running within a day, unlike 2015 where it took 5 to 6 days. And almost 95% of the places we brought in electricity. But I always maintain, because I've been associated in a number of other disasters. Disaster is not a statistics. So the affected people where the light is not there, the affected people where the water is still stagnating, that would be not only a news that we need to address that. Rather than, look at statistics and say that, it has become. So I'm fully convinced, concerned about them. And we are trying to ensure that even those remaining areas become normal by tomorrow.
Dr. Radhakrishnan, I appreciate you joining me on that situation in Chennai. Our thoughts and prayers again with the places which remain waterlogged, some without electricity. Thank you very much for joining me. Let me leave you though with a happier story. This year, Delhi and its suburbs, not for the first time, hit by pollution due to indiscriminate stubble burning in Punjab. But guess what? This flower farm, or the flower farm I'm about to show you in Punjab's Sandwan village, is not just like an oasis, it is one that has brought the winds of change. Maybe there is hope after all. I leave you with this story. Thanks for watching. Stay well, stay safe. Jai Hind, Namaskar. Have a good weekend. Our Good News Today story. Bye for now.
At a time when farm fires are raging across Punjab, this farm in Sandwa village is like an oasis. The owner of the land, Manjinder Singh, like many Punjabis, went to the UK to pursue a career there, but soon chose to return home to Faridkot. Manjinder decided to break away from the usual paddy wheat farming cycle and took up floriculture. He sourced seeds from Bengal and Madhya Pradesh and now cultivates flowers on 6 acres of land.
ये फूल की खेती है, ये हम रोज ही बाजार में सप्लाई करते हैं, हमको रोज ही पैसा मिलता है जी। दूसरी खेती में सर खर्चा ज़्यादा पड़ता है, इस खेती में खर्चा कम पड़ता है, तो रोज की रोज ये खेती आसान है, दूसरी खेती से आसान कह सकते हैं इसको, दूसरी खेती आसान है।
The seeds sown by Manjinder have brought winds of change, and inspired by him, more farmers are ready to take up floriculture.
ਇਹ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਚਾਚਾ ਜੀ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਥੋੜਾ ਲਾ ਕੇ ਵੇਖੋ ਇਹ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਹਟ ਕੇ ਆ ਕੰਮ ਇਹ ਵਧੀਆ ਸੌਖਾ ਤਰੀਕਾ ਪਿਓ ਰਿਸਕ ਨਹੀਂਗਾ ਕੋਈ ਚ ਵੀ ਸਵੇਰ ਤੋੜੋ ਸ਼ਾਮ ਨੂੰ ਆਦਾ ਘਰੇ ਆਈ
The State Agriculture Department is planning to set up facilities to procure and sell flowers.
हम भी कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि आत्मा के थ्रू एक आत्मा किसान बाज़ार अपने फरीदकोट में शुरू करें, ताकि किसान जो भी अपनी उपज है और जो उत्पाद है उसका वो वहाँ पे सीधा उसका मार्केटिंग कर सके।
Floriculture, Manjinder says, has other benefits too. It needs less water, less investment, and is better for the environment as there is no need to burn stubble after every cycle. Bureau Report, India Today.
Weather forecast now. Delhi, maximum 25 and minimum 12 degrees. Mumbai, maximum 28 and minimum 25 degrees. Kolkata, maximum 27 and minimum 18 degrees. Bangalore, maximum 26 and minimum 20 degrees. Chennai, maximum 29 and minimum 25 degrees. Hyderabad, maximum 28 and minimum 17 degrees.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart